Hello.
Hello?
Yo, dude. What's up?
You doing?
I'm chilling. How about you?
Same. Just chilling.
Cool. Well, I know who you are, but maybe you could give a quick intro for the stream and the VOD. Just say tag and like how long you've been playing and like what are your goals for the game and stuff like that.
Sure. My tag is Mootook. I play Falcon. Been playing for a while. I think like 7 years. Um, I recently moved to LA. I started playing on the East Coast, but I've been in SoCal for a few years and moved to LA. Kind of quit during COVID and then came out to LA like late last year and started competing again. Um, yeah. Uh,
Nice. Yeah, that was good. Okay. And what are we going over today?
Falcon Fox. This is a
Okay.
set I played at the last Lawless. It's not a long set. I got 2 woed, but I think it's representative of some things I want to work on.
Okay. So do you have stuff you want to talk about, or would you rather I just go into the match and we discuss what we see, or what would you like to do?
Um, I'm down for a little bit about. There are things I want to talk about, but I think I if I've already identified those as questions, maybe more beneficial just for you to watch and to get your take.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what do you want to do first right now?
I'll just watch a bit.
Okay. Is the screen share working?
Yeah, I can see. Thanks.
Okay. Okay. Nice stomp. Okay. Pretty solid stock overall. Okay. Not a bad nair. Okay. All right. I see a couple small things, but overall, so far, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I have other VODs where I kind of get rocked a little bit more. But this one I felt like this is kind of how I play against foxes around my level.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like this was one I should have won, and I'm not. It's obvious why I lost just because of didn't punish hard enough, got punished harder. But I think there's like situational things I want to figure out that I'm right, like because a lot of this kind of seems like not random, but a little bit of a toss up. And if I could make it less of a toss up, I think this would have been a
Mm-hmm.
different of a set.
Okay. Hmm. Okay. All right. Yeah. So let's see. I have a couple things I'm thinking about. It's an interesting watch. Okay. That was a rough stock after, especially after like how clean it started.
Yeah, I just felt like I was running away for a full like minute and a half.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Nice. I remember seeing this. Like I watched that knee. I don't remember when, but I definitely saw it.
Yeah, like when things like that happen, like this whole match, I felt like I don't know. I had this confidence, like, oh, I got this. I felt like I was gonna win, and then
Mm-hmm.
it like slipped. It felt like it was slipping through my fingers for pretty much the entire set, and I couldn't quite pinpoint why.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, getting out of the corner is kind of a consistent problem I have.
Well, Falcon is like kind of broken at getting out of the corner because you can either do like the back air aerial interrupt and then dash out, or you don't even need to do that. You can just do like the waveland and dash out, like the ledge dash out of the corner. Like basically everybody needs to give you the space, because if they don't, you'll just ledge dash in and grab them. So like getting off the ledge, it's definitely tricky with like setting up the good ledge dash, and that's why I think like doing the hack dashes and stuff is good. But there's just like a pretty big threat. Like I think you can use it to kind of get people off you, and then maybe like full hop or something like that.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. So I definitely... There's like a few small issues that I don't think are necessarily losing it for you, but they might be like adding up. So one of them is that you always nair at the exact same range. Like, you basically wait until... hello, YouTube? Okay. One sec. So you basically wait until... like this range, and it's pretty consistent every time. And this is essentially like the lowest risk, most safe, normal range to wall the nair at. But because of that, it doesn't have like a lot of intention behind it. It's like very passive. It's just like, well, if Fox tried a really stupid nair in right here, I would hit him. And you have to be a little bit more dynamic with it. So like basically like an example would be something like you notice this range and then you move a little closer and you do a nair. And then if Fox tried to like space around this nair, it would hit him. Or maybe you move back a little bit and you do the nair. Just like when you see the ideal range, playing out the ideal range only really works if you have this like hard read on exactly what he's gonna do. But you basically just want to like put more, like basically make what you're doing a little bit more layered. So instead of like Fox is at the nair range, then you're like, therefore I will do my nair. It's like, well, Fox is at kind of the nair range, so maybe I move back to see if I can get a dash back, and then he chases me again, and then this time I move just slightly closer than that previous range, and then I do the nair, and it's just like a way higher chance of hitting than doing like the spacing that everybody's like the most familiar with, basically. And I think it sort of takes away from the effectiveness of like some of your nairs. I'll look for like another example in a second. The other one is I think you're being like a little bit too aggressive at low percents here. Like I think the stomp is fine. Stomp is like what you want at low percent, but like sort of like going in with this like back air, and I'm assuming it was like a gentleman. Yeah, like Fox is just at too low of a percent. Like he's just gonna literally like hold down here and then kill you out of it, or like it's a little annoying that you have to kind of like run around at low percent, but that's just sort of like how Fox works. You just have to be really, really careful at low percent, because like all your stuff gets kind of like CC'd, and Falcon just has like a hard time really getting like a perfect opening. You more want to play like really carefully and then look for like the perfect thing that you might be able to get like a nair grab at 0 or something and then kill out of it. Falcon is really... I mean, we all kind of know he's like pretty disadvantaged against Fox. Like he can make it work, but he's like not at like an advantage. And so you can't just sort of see Fox sitting there and be like, oh, that's free pickings. Like I'm gonna jump over and I'm gonna hit him.
Yeah,
it's like most of your stuff on Fox is gonna be counter hits, and when you're playing against a really good Falcon as Fox, there's this feeling that like you don't really want to swing, like you don't really want to like try to hit Falcon, because you know the only thing that they're looking for is some sort of like quick movement trick into like hitting me for trying to hit them. So it's like a very counter hit defensive style is like a lot more effective against Fox in general.
Okay.
Did you have thoughts or something you were gonna say right there?
Yeah, I think like I don't think this gentleman was like a me being trying to press an advantage. I'm generally really uncomfortable when Fox is like closer than a nair, and I think this gentleman is obviously like a panic, like I need to get him away.
Well, yeah, it was more about this jump in and back air type deal here. than like the gentleman is more. Well, like obviously, I think that there are better panic options here than the gentleman. Like I think something that's really good right here is just do quick dash in either direction and then shield, and basically it's that same thing again where it's like Falcon is so fast, but he's kind of big, and so just moving your body a little bit before you do your action is really strong. Like if Fox is there like frame 1 or something, your jab's not gonna come out anyway. And if he's like a little slower, it's just like dash shield like right here. Like Johnny is just so good at this. S2J, he's crazy good at like out of a situation with this back air, he'll be like, oh, I'll just dash to here and then shield immediately. And then maybe Fox like will come in here and then he'll get like a stomper in there like at this interesting range that Fox isn't really expecting like Falcon to be at. And so basically this is like how you want to play it. You want to do something like this where you're like, hey Fox, look, we're going to play the game. And you create this kind of like negative space for Fox to move into. And then you either get dash dance grab, dash dance stomp, or something like this where you go up here and then you bait out the up tilt and you get this falling back air. And then you just don't jump like this here. You know, you need to get these tech chases. That's like the other big part of Falcon is like he has to work so hard for every single opening on Fox, and he has to get like he doesn't get a lot of openings on Fox like just cause. Most of them are like outplays. He has to outplay Fox in most cases to get a hit. And so like when you get it, if you're not in the most comfortable spot, you just want to make sure to like keep it consistent. A lot of times out of a tech chase, you can end up with like a tech chase a little bit more in the corner or something like that, which just makes like the tech chase extra strong, gives you higher odds of killing Fox out of it. Like basically just don't hard read the tech chase here, and it would help a lot.
Okay. Yeah, because that's like a run up crouch or something.
Yeah, like run up crouch is the best option here, or even just dash dance. Falcon can catch everything as far as I know. But basically it's like if you're gonna go for like something like this stomp, it would be great if maybe, you know, he's in the corner teching and you're like reading him going out of the corner with a stomp, because then if he doesn't go out of the corner, he's still in this bad position here. It was just like this really awkward tech chase, and it was like it's so much better to just get the regrab here and then play the tech chase out of a nice organized grab situation that you're really used to, rather than playing out a read on this crazy like ridiculous spot. Okay, so you bait him again, you get another opening, and you get this nice kill here. I think you get the kill. Yeah. And so that's why you can kind of see like the first stock went so well for you, because you were basically like you're moving around, you sort of create like a spacing, and then you make like a space vacuum, you kind of move out of that space, and then Fox takes it up and then you hit him, and then you just punish out of it. And you just like took the first stock, nothing bad happened at all. So you're here. Okay, pretty decent exchange for you there. In like a spot like this, it's really like kind of okay. Like here, you can kind of just like do short hop mix-ups. They're actually really strong here, because basically Fox just has to worry about you like short hopping in this whole range. So if you just kind of like short hop over him, a lot of times he'll have to choose a direction like left right, because he doesn't want to just get stomped on or like kneed on or nared on. And so he'll kind of choose a direction, and a lot of times you just get out of this annoying like corner location a little bit better than if you try to do it on the ground.
Yeah, I'm wondering if these side platform, because it seems like you go to side platform a lot, and I wonder if it's like an artifact of how I approach the Falcon matchup. And I'm not. You're saying it's probably also pretty good here, because it doesn't feel good when I'm doing it. Like even when I went up to this side platform on the right side and did the drop through bear, like I don't think I would do that, you know, if it was like if put in that situation and it was written down or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was an okay answer if you had basically like the same, like, so you're saying like the back air earlier, right?
Yeah, the first stock. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like that back air is just like, I don't know, answer number 3 or 4 to that situation, and you could have solved it with a bunch of things. And I'm more focusing just on like the fact you got out of the way and then you came back in. I do definitely agree that like Fox challenges Falcon on the platforms like a lot better than Falco does, and you don't want to like be stuck on the platforms. It's more just that like you can kind of like Fox just has to commit a lot more to attacking platform height. Kind of like Falco, like not quite as much as Falco, obviously, but he still has to like kind of commit to it. Maybe closer to like Sheik or something like that, where you're on the side plat, where it's like, yeah, Sheik can kind of pressure you and it's kind of scary, but if you're on the side plat, like she has to still respect all the different ways you can jump off, because if she just makes a hard read and then you don't get hit, you could kill her. Mm-hmm. And Fox is kind of similar. Okay, so you get the nair, grab. So yeah, you mess up here, but like theoretically, this could be like a 4-2 advantage. Mm-hmm. So this one is just a little bit. This is too aggro, like you're drifting in here. If you were drifting back, then you would just be safe, because you would just hit a shield and you would land like a little bit further back.
Yeah.
This is okay. This is kind of dangerous. Like you could get really easily back aired here. I think getting to the ground is way more important than anything else in this scenario as Falcon. So like if he sends you like this, probably like double jump waveland down right here. Okay. Something, or like waveland back. Just something to like get you on the ground, because if Falcon's on the ground, he's almost invincible because he can just hold down. But if you're in the air and you use your double jump, you're just getting closer and closer to like your lose case. Like basically like that. Like just like a really bad decision to stomp there. Okay. Yeah, nice. You got out of the corner. That was pretty good. Yeah. Once again, it was like a little bit too much here. Like what you want to do is you want to act like you're going to go to center, and then when they cover center, you kind of drift back, and your goal is to just get back on the ground. So like right here, I understand this spot being a little weird. A couple things you could have done. You could have like stomp edge canceled here or something like that. But I understand it's a little bit awkward right there. Okay, so good. Boom. Oh, slight miss there, and you SD. So that was like, there's been like 3 or 4 times now where it could have been like 4 stocks to 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I think this is when you start playing a little not quite as good. Okay, so remember how important every opening is. So if you're getting like something like this opening, you need to get, you want to, like basically if you see a spot where you have like an advantage, you need to come up with an idea that actually kills Fox. So like basically here, if you see this position, like basically going for a stomp, even though it's like a little bit more awkward than this back air, or like waiting a split second and looking for a stomp, or waiting a split second and looking for a grab, or anything like that here, is just better than this back air. Because if you hit the back air, and he's probably going to tech if it hits, because like the shield pressing here, he's probably just going to hit him with the back air from like the L cancel, and he'll just tech off to the side, and you'll have risked your life for basically nothing. And that is like kind of what happens. You get shine, so it's fine, but this is like another thing. This is like one where it's like, I kind of see where you're going for here. It's just, how do I describe it? It's like it's too like there's not enough like mix up there. It's just kind of like you're taking what Fox gives you here. Like you're just kind of like you weren't really like creating a space vacuum for him to go into that you were then capitalizing on. Like this wasn't like your trap. This was just kind of like Fox is naring, and you're like, whoa, I can maybe catch that. And that just sort of like is a more passive angle, and it just gives them control of the timing and stuff like that, where they spot dodge the grab is going to happen like way more often.
That makes sense. I think it might expose me, but sometimes this matchup does feel a bit random, and maybe that's why.
Yeah, I think, and this is like a really common problem for a lot of people, and it's basically like a lot of times the reasons why people feel like the matchup is random is because they're like afraid to miss opportunities. That's like a really, really big one, is people are like, well, he did this nair, and it felt like that wasn't like a really good nair, so if I don't punish it, then I'm losing. you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think like this is the really common mentality, and it's not very like useful. It's sort of like there's the situations where you like big win, and those are the ones you care about. And so if somebody can make you like flinch, or like, oh wait, is that the secret big win when you didn't like earn it, then they're gonna be able to like bait you. And that's essentially what you're doing to, what you're gonna be doing to Fox. Is you're kind of standing there like, like I tried to wall you out with my nair and it didn't work, and then Fox is like, haha, like I'm just gonna get a nair because you gave it to me for free, and then you actually didn't, and you just like stomp them or grab them and kill them. Mm-hmm. And so like if you're just acting off of what Fox gives you, then it's kind of like playing from a position of like scarcity, where you're like, I need something because like there's no openings like around, so like anything that Fox gives me, I better take it. And it's like, no. If you kind of just play like the safe neutral and you're moving around and you're playing solid, like they will give you the openings. You're not like desperate for openings.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So okay, right here, you're sort of missing an opportunity here. So in this position, it's like you've applied like a pressure enough to get Fox shielding. I understand. What's the way to describe it? It's kind of like this knee would normally be fine, but in the context of your stuff, it's very much like you're here and you don't really. It's like basically like a return to the safest possible range. And like, I don't know, something that Johnny might do here that I would say is like really good is he would do this nair and Fox would like shield and he'll just wait a split second and then nair in place again. And you see how Fox would have like gotten caught by that. It's because it's not the most obvious, like, this is my perfect Falcon range, you know? So I feel like you can kind of use the more unfamiliar spots to call out Fox a little bit better than you're doing right now. Mm-hmm. It's like basically you're like kind of like you switch. Like, so far, you basically, like switched modes a little bit. I think this was... Okay, but let's go into more details instead of just talking about it so generally. Let me find another example. So, yeah, that happens, kind of. Let's see. Yeah, so let's say like right here. So you really want a kill on Fox right here, which is good. You go for this. Why did you give up so much space here? That's kind of the question. Is that like you're dash dancing, but it's that same. It's like that same range. It's like you don't want to get closer than like. You don't want to be up in this range, and there's not really a reason to not want to be up in that range when you have pressure on Fox. Mm-hmm. So it kind of makes this position feel pretty safe for Fox because he knows you're not gonna like, I don't know, nair past him or something because he's way in the corner. But you being right up in his face, nairing and kneeing is a lot stronger pressure there. I don't know, just.
I think it's true that I definitely have a problem recognizing advantages on Fox. Because part of me just never feels like they exist, but that's my own like. This is really hard kind of mentality. But yeah, I think you've hit it spot on in that, like, I just gave up space because I was like, oh no, I drifted in too close, and I need to do something to return to, like, where he can't hit me.
Yeah, exactly. But then the problem is that when, like, the even bigger problem is that you play this interaction out, and then you're dashing away here, but then you're kind of still doing, like, aggressive movements. Like, if you were gonna make the decision to like wall Fox out, shouldn't it have been like here instead? Like he's in the corner. Like you gave up all this space to go all the way back here, and then the second he's like, "Okay, I'm ready to fight," then you're like, "Okay, let's fight. We'll just both throw out our moves." And it's like, dude, no, like you had control. You get like when he's in the corner, he should be worried. What is Falcon's idea? What is Falcon gonna make happen? Like, what do I need to do to avoid what Falcon is about to do to me? And so, like, you want to just play from, like, a position of, like, activity. Like, everything you're doing should be, like, I came up with this plan to trick Fox, and he fell for it, so I killed him. if it's not like your plan and Fox is just sort of throwing out moves, it's better to wait for it. So like for instance, like right here, instead of jumping and back airing this nair, what if you dashed away and then right here when Fox is landing, you dash in and it's not even to grab it, it's just as like pressure. Like if you can run into grab, and if he drifts correctly like the way you want him to, you can grab, and if he doesn't, you can just keep dashing. And like nothing was lost by not taking the interaction that Fox wanted you to take. And so maybe when you dodge this nair and you dash in and you don't even go for anything and you're just dash dancing, maybe Fox thinks you're going to dash dance grab his nair, so he spot dodges, and then you just like knee it or something like that. Mm-hmm. So it's just like if the interaction was your opponent's idea, the rule of thumb is to avoid it and then come back in afterward with your own idea. Falcon just has to like wrestle really hard to like be heard, like to have like his voice heard. It's really easy in this matchup to just and I have a question, and then Fox is just like just like beating you up. So it's like you have to be very careful to like make sure it's like, no, it's my turn to talk, and I'm going to put my ideas on the table. And even if Fox is like, objection or something, Fox is like coming at you, it's like, well, Fox is coming at me as part of my plan to get Fox to come at me, so it's okay. Mm-hmm. Oop, hello. Okay. Also, full hop is a lot safer than I think you're giving it credit for. Like your full hop.
Like out of the corner?
Yeah, like in general, like when you do a full hop like this, it's like you're pretty safe. Like I think that I just haven't noticed you using it as much as I would expect, I guess.
Yeah. They feel bad to use, I'm not sure why. I think because I've gotten hit out of them a few times, but maybe they're more useful than them.
Yeah, like it's kind of like a Fox Ditto full hop where they need to hard read your full hop in a lot of cases. And if they mess up the read and they mess up the read on your full hop, you can just like kill them. Like they think you're gonna full hop and you don't, and then they full hop back air and you just kill them. Mm-hmm. So like they can read you out of it if you're being too predictable, but overall like it's kind of tricky for them, especially if you're just kind of doing it in like neutral. Like, how did you get hit here?
I'm not sure if this is legit, but I got walloped from this little opening.
That you what?
I'm not sure if this is legit or if I could have gotten out of it. This little up tilt shine turnaround grab.
You definitely could have gotten out, but it not a huge like you were definitely in the air when the shine hit, but the shine could have hit like one frame later and gotten you on the ground anyway. So like it's not a huge I don't really worry too much about that. It's more that you let yourself get hit here.
I think I was going for run up CC, but I don't think I got into my run. So.
Oh, it looked like you jumped.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. Did you jump? Yeah, you jumped.
Yeah.
So it's all part of kind of like that same baiting thing where it's like when you get the opening here, the goal should be to get Fox to up tilt, not to hit him like before he up tilts or anything like that. It's basically like it's all like a baiting game in this matchup. And when you're not baiting him, you want to just be super safe. Okay, so this was good actually. I like this interaction a lot, where it's like Fox is trying to hit you here, and you don't let it happen. I also think you can defend this corner advantage way harder though. Like right here, dash back, like pivot nairs and stuff, or like dash back, dash in, hold down here, nair like right here. So strong, so crazy strong. But you just give up the whole corner situation. And okay, so now once you've given it up, at least you're not letting Fox hit you. So like, but like in a spot like this, Fox is already kind of doing these up tilt. How do I describe it? It's like, Okay, like basically from like okay, if you think of this matchup as probability based, which is what it looks like you're kind of looking at it as, where it's like Fox is here, so he could do like these three options, and so I'll do my option, which beats A and is safe to B and C or whatever, and that's kind of like generally how you're sort of playing it, and it's a lot more like you want to you want to almost play this matchup as Fox, like in your head while you're playing it, like as Falcon. Like you want to be like, oh, that's that Nair spot as Fox, and then as Falcon, you might be able to like read that with like a kill. It's like essentially like a battle of like, can Fox resist doing the normal thing? And if Fox does the normal thing or does like the obvious thing, then they can just die for it. But if you like, let me see this position. But it's like, how do I describe this? It's kind of just like this interaction is like a perfect like description of it, that like Fox, okay, so like what is Fox like thinking here? It's sort of like, okay, so Fox does this nair in, and then Fox thinks you're gonna come in, so they do the up tilt. And so, like, what is Fox thinking here? They're thinking, I sure hope I don't get hit for this up tilt. Like, I sure hope they don't, like, grab me out of this up tilt or something like that. The thing, Fox is never gonna dash in a nair after this up tilt, because if they did that, they would just get hit by all of these grabs and things that you did to try to beat their up tilt, but you were, like, late with.
Yeah.
So this was like essentially like an opportunity you had because Fox was like was scared, but you put out this nair of like, oh, is Fox gonna nair in here? And it's like, no, there was no chance of Fox nairing in there. But if you're thinking of it purely based on probability, then like, yeah, Fox could definitely nair in here after that up tilt. But if you're thinking of it as like what the Fox is sort of perceiving, then they would never ever do that. Like they would never dash nair here out of this spot dodge or up tilt or whatever, and so like you're it's like a leak. Like you're like leaking like effectiveness in a lot of spots where you get an advantage and you're not accurately doing the moves that take advantage of that situation, and then so like when you have the advantage, you're not really like using it. And so you kind of let things get back to neutral, or this place where you're just hard covering, like, not hard covering, you're covering, like, probabilities rather than, like, what you think they're going to do. And then, so if you're turning your advantages into more neutral type situations, then, like, you're sort of playing the matchup at only neutral and disadvantage, which is rough. And especially if you're not like really comfortable being like chased, which is what it seems like you're not super comfortable on like the disadvantage spot, like being in the corner and being in like a negative spot. It's just gonna end up basically how it feels now. is what I'm saying, is like that is what is creating like the current feeling in a lot of ways, is that you're not taking advantage of the pressure that you're getting, and so it's like negating a lot of your good positions. And yeah, your combo game here is very solid, so that's good. You just got to make sure that in between these combos, Fox doesn't just randomly hit you 4 times. That's kind of like a big like an issue to avoid. Okay, so it's fine. We're good. It seems like you tried to nair the full hop, which would have been winning, I think, for you.
There's definitely a few tech flips in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of just like, dude, if you're here and Fox is shielding, you can nair right on his shield. He can't punish you. Like, unless you're like if you're here and your legs are hitting this, he can't get you. If you're kneeing his shield here, he can't get you. Like, when he's in shield, like, his mobility is gone. You can move in. But you play kind of safe, and it's the same thing where it's like you get this advantage state, and it's like, dude, when you're in the corner, Fox has a field day. So when you get Fox shielding in the corner, if basically Fox does not like receive any sort of like threats out of this, or you're not like doing anything that can even hurt him, you're just missing out on potential like situation. Because like Tonkatsu goes for like the most kind of predictable option out of this, where he just moves straight forward. And if you just had like a wall of aerials here, up airs, knees, stomps, nairs, everything here, it'd be a lot stronger. And then this one is, so it's never your job to like press the issue in this matchup. Remember that Falcon, his job is to punish Fox for pressing the issue. Like your job as Falcon is to counter hit Fox for things. So if you ever break in a situation like this, out of this, your options are like dash in shield, pivot nair, waveland off the platform. You want to go for something that is sort of like slightly more like defensive here, basically. It's not your job to trade here and then press the issue. The only time you're going to press the issue in a situation like this is after like multiple games. So basically what will happen is you never press this issue ever, and you fight this Fox who every time there's a chance for them to press the issue, they dash away. Like, they just dash back. Like, basically what you're doing, where you're resetting to your nice, safe range where they can't hit you. But a lot of Foxes do that, too. And eventually, when you get to a point where you know that they're going to do it out of this situation, you can do dash, short hop, full distance, stomp, and it'll catch their dash back. But that's like a hard read, and you pretty much want to save it for a bit. Like, basically, just think of it as after, like, a break like this, you want to see what Fox is going to do. So you set up a couple traps. You're like, okay, are you going to dash into my stomp or my nair here? Or are you going to, like, go underneath the platform, and I'm going to move on the platform and punish you for it? Like, you want to give some gotchas, but generally, like, okay, but, like, basically right here, this is where you want to do that probability game where you're like, I'm going to do a really safe dash dance or something like that. And if he does this dumb option, I punish him. And if not, I'm safe. Because if you press the issue, you're just going to get hit a lot. Okay, so this was good. I actually like this, where you do this pressure, you run up, and you do this nair. This was good. And I don't know how he got this down tilt. This is kind of a crazy down tilt. But it was, in general, I think that nair was like a pretty good like setup. Okay. Yeah, it's just bad ledge movement. Oh, yes, dude. Okay. Okay. The match starts. Run up. Oh, this is killing me. It's killing me because it's like, this is the spot. Like, you get this, you drop down, and it's like, oh, baby. Falcon's going to run here, pivot nair, and it's going to be like the most beautiful nair in history. And you move, and it's like Fox moves right into your space vacuum. Like, it's just crazy. Like, you play each part of this. Like, you're like, all right, start the game, push Fox into the corner, create my space vacuum right here. Fox moves into it super predictably, and you're like, that's nice. Like, that's cool. And it's like, you really gotta like hold that area with like moves, because you gave up the advantage, and then you just went for like a big gamble here with the grab. And you're just going to get punished out of that. And that's just natural in this matchup. Okay. Stomp like that is totally fine in neutral sometimes. It's just one of the strengths of Falcon to be able to do that. It's not necessarily, like, it kind of leans into the whole randomness thing. So I'm not like a gigantic fan of it, but honestly it works against me all the time. So I'm like, well, I can't say it's that bad. Okay, how do you get hit out of this, though? You have your combo. Oh, you just get reversal.
Yeah, I missed the tech chase.
Okay, you finally used the corner. Let's go. Let's go. You did the exact option you should have here. Very safe, very strong nair pressure. I see, yeah, he just slightly missed the edge guard. Okay, this was good. The nair was good, too, because it was, like, at a range where, like, it just felt like Fox was going to push the issue, and I super understand that. So good nair, and you get the knee. Could have definitely gotten a second knee. Mm-hmm. when you get a hit as Falcon, this is like a basically you want to freaking go for it. Like when you hit him, and he needs to die. Like so like basically, I don't know if you've seen. There's certain sets of, and I know I keep bringing him up, but S2J, Johnny's Falcon, against like Cody or something like that. And if you've watched them, like a bunch of their sets, there are times where he kind of starts feeling like really like tight, where he'll get like one nair or one back air, and then he'll kind of like dash to the corner and then like shield pivot and then just kind of like wall aerials and stuff. Like he's just not really like going for it, or like people like won't go for like that knee, you know. And it's kind of like you gotta like that's Falcon. That's like the path you've chosen. If Fox is in the air and he's being comboed, the combo should end with him dying out of like a knee. And so, like, just basically, you don't want to be like a conservative Falcon player. Like when you hit people, you need to go big on all your combos. So if there's like any chance, maybe that Fox could die here out of a knee, you gotta try it. Because otherwise, like, I don't know, one of the reasons why Falcon is pretty good is that he can go out there and get those knees, you know? Mm-hmm. So if, like, playing Falcon without those knees, it might be a little safer, but you're kind of giving up one of the only strengths the character actually has. There's the same thing again. You just let him run right out of the corner. Look at this. You have this great pressure, and you just let him run all the way out. Yeah, okay, so this is that thing where it's like maybe trying too hard to hit each opportunity, where it's like this, and you see him full hop. Okay, this is a thing that a lot of people can learn, I think. When you see this position, unless somehow you hard read it and you're about to like up air him, like short hop up air, if you see this position, this should not register in your head as like, oh, I can hit that at all. This should register entirely as like, okay, I see him full hopping. I'm going to position myself really well so that after Fox lands, I have a good position to fight out of. Because trying to go in, it's just not going to end well, like almost all the time. You can kind of dash dance, grab around it as Falcon because his dash dance is so fast. But even then, basically just, you're going to punish the landing. Think of it like that. You're punishing the landing, not Fox full hopping. Okay, boom, nice. You really don't want to be in the corner when their invincibility ends. Like, if you think about it, like, you're pretty vulnerable right here, but you're even more vulnerable over here. It's like if you just do the thing, I've just been telling everybody to light shield on side plat during invincibility. It's just so much better. Like if you were just here, and then Fox comes back. Let me see. It's like right here, and what you do is, okay, so you're on this side, and so what you would do is you would just stand like right here. It's like, okay, how is Fox gonna get to you? If you're here, like he can't double jump over to you. If he falls and lands, he has to fall, land, and run over and full hop. And if he falls and lands, you can just full hop or dash full hop or light shield, and you're just fine. Like he just can't get over to you quickly enough. So just basically watch out for ending their invincibility with you being in a bad spot in the corner. Like I would rather you end their invincibility by being here light shielding than here. Or on the opposite corner. Okay. What's going on here? Yeah, the grab's a little bit gambly. Like right here, even when you get stuck in the corner, like he misses this, and let's say you don't have enough time to get him, why not, stomp on the platform? Like right here, he misses. Why not do short hop, instant double jump, stomp right here, and then like move out or something like that. There's just like, I don't know. There's a few options you can use to get out of the corner, like tricky ways in that spot. Okay, let's see. The same thing happened again. It's just your drift on the nairs. It's just like a little bit too far forward, like just a little bit. I would try maybe like you're doing like the forward hop drift back, I would try maybe like backflipping them or like making sure you don't like forward hop here.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just every nair that you got and shield grabbed out of, they're just like a little bit too close. And I can see that you had like the correct intention, and it was just like slightly misspaced. Okay, let's see. So this was really, if you got out, this was really good. And you just like wall, just hold your advantage.
Right, missed. Yeah.
Because that's the thing, like I was saying, is like you feel like you're getting chased down or that you're in a bad spot. And it's just because you're not like spending quality time in the advantage state. It's like when you get your advantage state, kind of like what Fox gets you in a disadvantage, Fox just kind of sits in advantage forever. You're on disadvantage, you're on the back foot for like 30 seconds. And so when you get the advantage, you want to spend a bunch of time in that sort of advantage state. Okay, whoa, scary, but crazy up here. Okay. Yeah, okay, so this is good. I'm not sure exactly what you meant to do here, but it's sort of like, so, you know how I was saying there's like that spot where like Fox didn't have enough frames after the up tilt, so he wasn't gonna like short hop nair at you. Mm-hmm. That basically like changes depending on the amount of frames or the frame advantage. So sometimes you have like a big frame advantage where Fox isn't gonna do that, and sometimes you have like a smaller frame advantage, or like there's a bigger distance based on the frame advantage, and you have to sort of adjust your decision making based on that. So, like, there's, like, a spot here where... okay, it's right after this. Yeah, right here. So, Fox is at, like, a little bit of a disadvantage after this spot dodge. So, you get, like, you get to start the situation, like, right here out of the spot dodge. And, okay, good. But you dashed away too far. It's fine. It's just part of the mix-up. And so, you end up in a spot where you kind of have an advantage, but it's not too much. This is a good spot to kind of, like, bait. Because Fox is like, I'm going to throw something out.
Gotcha.
These ranges are just sort of like, this is where the matchup is played. Is like, Fox does something, Falcon has like a super slight positional or timing advantage, and then Falcon has to like use that to threaten Fox, and then like punish Fox's options out of those threats. And that is kind of like where the matchup goes at like a higher level, is like Falcons get better and better at not abusing, but like at recognizing all these little ranges and then like reading Fox differently based on that. And that is like really like where it ends up. And yeah, right here, this is like just another example of like, yeah, Fox, it looks easy to hit, but you're at like a high percent. Just let them whiff it. It's fine. Mm-hmm. You don't need to punish it just because they're there. No, that's the same exact thing in the corner again.
It's like giving it up right here?
Yeah, like right here. Like, Fox should be... there's just so many times against good Falcons where Foxes spot dodge here and get kneed at 60 and just die. But that never happens for you because you're not ever pressuring the corner.
Yeah.
Ooh. Ugh. Barely missing. Didn't really make any mistakes there, like, decision-wise, though. Ooh.
Like, right there, I'm just yeah, I can kind of just see him scrambling for what to do.
Yeah, I mean, you're at 170, so...
yeah.
Like, the best thing to do here is just go to ledge and just kind of, like, stall for a second and then look for a sneaky way out.
Yeah.
Boom. Okay. Yeah, notice being on the platform, even though you mess up, look how much safer like you are.
Yeah.
And you just full hop out, and it's like, yeah, Fox doesn't really have anything there. Oof. And yeah, even right here, like, so even though you do this nair, it felt like, I don't know, it almost felt like they were initiating the situation. Like, it felt like you were trying to like nair to beat their nair that you saw. Mm-hmm. Not really sure exactly what you reacted to there, but that's what it feels like. Okay, good. You got the negative space thing. Okay, you
Yeah,
got
like a
clip,
CC,
that happens. Okay. The other thing is you want to be a little bit more dynamic. So, like, basically, how do I describe it? So, basically, like, it's kind of like that thing with, like, where you have to go out for the knee because that's what Falcon is good at. It's like you have to change your horizontal position because that's what Falcon is good at. So, like, this whole situation, see how you're kind of like you'll be stuck kind of like in this area, like, but wait till this is done. It's like you're kind of stuck here and like playing it out here, and it's like you're Falcon, you're the fastest character in the game, so like if something feels bad, you can just run out, like you can just full hop and dash full hop out of the way completely by playing in like a small amount of, you basically just want the space to be constantly changing, like Falcon's way over here, now Falcon's way over here, as a general rule. And the more you're in sort of this close quarters, like, I don't know, Fox is basically just like a close quarters pincushion. Like, he's just got all these little short moves that are just all in with space, and he's plink plink nair plink plink. And so it's like, if you're in a spot where you both have agreed to just fight in this little tiny spot, Fox will just win. And so if it ever feels like you're just sort of stuck scrambling, just get out. Just completely move to a different part of the stage, and you'll be better off for it. Yeah, even like right here, I think this might even be a bigger issue that we're not talking about enough. Is that like you're so let's see, what's the best way? It's like you wanna. Okay, so it's like we have this situation, and it's like, okay, we're playing this type of spot. It's So it's like in every matchup, the fast character is typically the one who decides when engagements happen. And this is the only matchup where the character is really like faster than Fox. And so you want to choose when engagements happen, but you also want to choose like what situation is being played. Like, how do I describe it? It's like when you're here in this spot, there's this very clear, like, here's the tension space, and Falcon is going to move around in his own space, and Fox is going to move around in his own space, and then this is the tension space, basically. And if you allow that to continue indefinitely, you're not using your speed enough, basically, where it's like you want to change. I'm just trying to think of a good way to like say it that makes it seem simple. It's kind of like you being here, and this is your space, and then Fox being here, and this is his space, and the tension space is here. It's like if you play that for a second and you don't really see anything obvious come out of it, you might want to be like, okay, actually, my house is here, and the tension space is here, and so what are you going to do about it, Fox? And kind of just change the context for how you're both thinking about the interaction. And, like, be a little bit more down for, like, cross-ups and stuff like that. There's just, like, this very clear, like, Falcon is on the left, Fox is on the right dynamic that happens in this spot. And it kind of, like, holds up for a long time, and it makes Fox... Like, just look at from the Fox end. The Fox gets really comfortable, like, moving to the left with moves, basically. So, like, Fox is here with the up smash, and then roll in, and then up tilt, dash up smash, dash into the nair left, and it's like, Fox just knew that there was this big, like, left, Falcon is right to the left of me, and the tension is right in front of me, and I just need to keep pressing into that tension. And basically, like, you need to be able to, like, feel that Fox is feeling that and, like, kind of manipulate it. it's a little abstract to talk about it, but the essential idea is that like don't play the same interaction out like multiple times.
Okay.
And it kind of ties into what I was saying before, where it's like you don't want to do that same spacing on the nair. And it's kind of in a similar direction to that, where it's like you want to do these slight off positions of forward or back on the nair, because it prevents Fox from like doing the right math problem. Like basically Fox needs to do the math on these problems to get the right answer. And the longer you give him to solve any particular problem, the more likely he is going to get the right solution. So when like you're in a position where you both know the situation and you both know the spacings you're playing with, you have to be really careful about actually fighting Fox in those spots. What you want to do is you want to kind of like establish these ranges. We know what we're playing. Fox knows what we're playing. I know what we're playing. But what you're going to do is instead of taking those interactions, you're going to basically move at like an offbeat and like start a different interaction. So it's like if we have, I don't even know if I'll be able to do this perfectly, but it's basically like here's this interaction, and the longer we give Fox on it, the further he's able to like move forward and like making progress in this interaction. But if basically if like Fox is done calculating the option at right here and in time, then it's like, okay, so he wants to make it happen right here. This is when he's like got a read on you, like you did the nair a bunch of times in place or something, and so he has a read where he's gonna run in and do a mix-up at this point in time. Then like right here, you just deviate, where you're like, we were playing, if this is like the range, we were playing this nice range this whole time, and then right here in this spot, I now suddenly deviate to this new situation that Fox needs to calculate. And if Fox sort of stays on this first line of reasoning of like what you were kind of doing this whole time, then Fox will basically make this decision, but he'll make it here, which is wrong because he's making it right at the beginning of this new situation without calculating it. And this is where he does like a bad nair and he gets stomped or grabbed like right here because you changed the spacing slightly. Hopefully that describes it somewhat.
The visual actually really helped.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was like, can I?
In the weeds for a second, and then.
Okay, I was like, can I do this? Like, it's just it's a little bit of an abstract concept, but like Falcon needs to play fairly abstractly because he has speed and he has range, but he doesn't have like good tools really. Like he has to kind of like move around Fox to make things work. Okay, so I'm glad the visual helped.
Yeah. Looks like the alternate timeline from Back to the Future or something. It helped.
Yeah. It's funny. Definitely like alternate timeline. So it's basically like, this is just kind of the way I think of this matchup a lot, is that I will play like that, where I will essentially move into the safe range, and I watch what Fox is doing in the safe range, and we play the safe range out for a second, and then I will move, once I have my info gathered, I move into another range. And so what Fox is thinking is like, aha, I've totally caught you, like, changing to this new position. I'm not going to fall for it. I'm going to calculate this position, and then I'll interrupt him off of that one. So, like, I kind of have, like, an information gathering phase where, like, I'm just sort of dash dancing around pretty safely. Like, I'm not really trying to, like, change the understood situation for that point. Moving around, just trying to dash dance, like, are they going to give me something for free? And you sort of wait for the situation to, like, develop and establish that we're playing this, like, not the situation where we're both safe dash dancing, but, like, a situation where we could kind of hit each other. And those are the situations where you want to let it build up. You want to kind of let it build up until Fox, for instance, is very confident that you will be on his left and he can throw out moves. And then switch it up.
Gotcha.
And yeah, I wish I could spend the lesson on stuff that was a little bit less abstract, but it's just the nature of the way Falcon has to play the matchup. It just gets kind of abstract because he has to win on kind of like a mental, like he has tools to win on from a mental angle, but he doesn't have tools to win from like a pure gameplay angle. He just like Fox's moves go through your moves. Like they're just too fast. But you
That
have your
makes
speed,
sense.
so you can use that.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I mean, I had points, but I actually think a lot of them were covered under the umbrella of kind of stuff we talked about.
Okay. You can still ask any other questions you have before the end, though. Like if you have any
Okay.
final questions or thoughts, now is the time.
Yeah, I think my mind's a little swimming with a lot of the neutral stuff we went over. But one
Yeah, that's
one quick
fair.
thing, real quick, is that like, tech chasing is a pretty recent addition to my punish game. Um, and like I've been trying to figure out the best mental model to sort of like, obviously if I tech chase into the corner, just like when to go for reads and when to like attempt to continue the tech chases.
Mm-hmm. Um, the general rule for me is if you can't get so like basically you do the throw and you see their DI and if essentially if your read kills them, do your read. If your read doesn't kill them, then you do so like for instance, like let's say you read somebody like you down throw somebody and like maybe they're not like completely in the corner, but they're kind of in the corner and they're at like 40 or something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
you're reading them teching in place. If you read them teching in place with stomp knee and like the stomp or the tech in place a lot of times is gonna like lock them out of like teching or something from the stomp. So if you read the tech in place with stomp knee, they're just dead at 40. That's a spot where you want to read. Like basically, if you have like a solid read on somebody, you're pretty sure they're gonna do something, and the move kills, then you probably want to read. But if you're in a spot like you grab somebody at center stage at 0 and you down throw them, you don't want to read their tech chase or their tech with like a stomp because they're at too low of a percent. Even if you stomp them, you still have to make at least more reads or reactions in order to get them to a percent where you can actually kill.
Okay.
Um, and it's kind of like personal preference. Like maybe you're playing against a player where um, you have a better handle on their tech chases, so you want to read more often. And then maybe you're playing against somebody and you keep guessing their tech chases wrong. So maybe you can react to their tech chases and just sort of note which ones they chose. Like, are they rolling more? Are they teching in place more? Stuff like that. And then build up a better, like, read portfolio and then make a read, something like that.
Mm-hmm. I'm definitely not super good at sort of aggregating information throughout a set.
It's Yeah, it's gonna be a lot more of like a feeling based thing eventually. Like basically, once you just spam tech chase reaction enough, and I know you've been playing for like a while, but there's a certain point when like you're kind of good enough at it where you do it enough where your brain will store it because you'll be like, oh, like I can definitely just like kill him out of this one or whatever.
Yeah.
I think at this point the tech chasing thing your tech chases just still look like a little unconfident. Like I think you're reacting to tech chasing is still just a little weak, and so
Mm-hmm.
I think like basically every time you tech chase, you have to like go through a mental battle of like, do you react or just throw it all away and read? And when the read is more made from like a position of like being comfortable with knowing probably what they're gonna do, I think it's also like easier to react and just know. Like it's easier to tell the difference when you're confident in your reactions, basically.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Any other questions?
Um,
Click.
Probably, but I think I've got enough in my head.
Okay, and yeah, feel free that like Lawless or Verdugo or whatever. Like, if you've processed it more, you can just hit. We can just ask me and all. We can talk about it.
Yeah, I think I'll probably, I'm assuming you record these and
Yeah, it's on like Twitch VOD. I'm gonna upload it to YouTube.
cool. Yeah, I'll probably rewatch them and then hit you up. But I've definitely got, I don't know, kind of just a little bit of a muddy brain.
Yeah, there's a lot of abstract stuff we talked about. So
But it definitely helped.
okay, that's good.
I think I'll do it with rewatch.
Okay, sounds good, dude. I will send you my payment info. Does Venmo work? Do you want like PayPal?
Either one, whatever you prefer.
Okay, all right, I'll send it to you in a bit. All right, sounds good, man. I'll see you
All right.
at the locals.
Yeah, man.
Peace.
All right. Thanks again. Peace.
No problem.